What do you see, first of all, gets in the way of great work really being allowed to flourish?
Well, when it comes to leaders, and I've been fortunate to work with many of them over the years, clearly there's a passion and an interest in their work. But one of the things that I found over the years, and it's something that I now incorporate into our leadership training, is the notion about, all leaders have potential derailment factors and weaknesses, and you should check for those. And if there's something, missing from your game, you need to work that. But after a while, breaking even on your weaknesses will not make you a great leader. So the notion about finding a few things that you could go beyond good to great matters a great deal. And I've done it as I've tracked our succession planning system here at General Mills, as I've seen leaders in GE and other places. And as a friend once put it, great leaders are not defined by an absence of weakness, but the possession of a few profound strengths. Right. So the challenge I have with my leaders, whether I'm doing leadership training or executive coaching, is, we start with checking for any weaknesses that really matter. Whether it's, lack of strategic insight or you don't listen well to others. To some degree, those things matter and you should work them. Mm. But if you're continually focused on what you don't have, you never, release the greatness that, many leaders have within them, so that potential. And potential usually comes from, you're pretty good at it, you're inspired by it, but we challenge them to say, but that's probably not great. So back to, your personal passion, your work, is giving people permission to be great.
So I love that. It reminds me, of course, of Marcus Buckingham's work around focus on your strengths.
I remember when I first pitched the idea of we're going to emphasize building strengths, towering strengths to the then CEO of General Mills, and at first there was resistance. That, we're not going to avoid the weak areas, and people need to get messages. And I said, absolutely, and we know from our research internally that there are a few things that can derail your career, and we're going to have people look at that. Mm-hmm. But all of the research I have seen shows that, in 75% of the cases, the most significant thing a leader can do is not to work on a low-scoring area, but build a strength. And what I told the CEO, I said, okay, so I put my hand sort of low, and I said, all right, so let's assume we have some leaders that are not good, that have weaknesses, and we're going to spend all that time getting them to average. And I moved my hand up to the middle of the table. I said, So what are we going to have 2 years from now is a vast collection of average. Is that what we really want? And I think there's a human nature to say, let's work on the lowering scoring areas and the quality problems or whatnot. And this, permission to say, maybe let's push for great. Right. That was a fun way, and he got it. And I think it released an enormous amount of energy, because typically when people go to corporate training, they're expected to get yelled at. So, hey, you're not up with the latest fad on management, or here's an employee survey and you're not good at this. And instead to say, legitimately there are a few of you in the room that need to work something. But for the most of you, it's a waste of your time to work on something low to get to average. Well, it's a tougher standard to get to great, but isn't that more fun? And I have found every leader in a training course to get the message and get very inspired, because they immediately see how they could be doing better work.
Wow.
How to begin, start doing something that matters. At the heart of this book is the insight we unlock our greatness by working on the hard things. If you want to set a worthy goal, you can find out more and download bonuses at howtobegin.com.